We have two very young entrepreneurs who came up with a very brilliant idea, an application of getting people awake, I guess, and telling people when to shut up also. I give the floor to Mai-Li Hammargren and Oscar Ritze Praglowski. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's great to be here, especially since SSES is the source why me and Oscar were connected from the start. Mutewatch is a lifestyle watch with 3 functions: clock, timer, and alarm. When the alarm goes off, it goes off with a vibration, so only you can notify it. Today, the company is in a very interesting phase. 3 months from here, we will stand in front of the most important episode of the history of the company, product launch. We will launch our first product that we've built from scratch, built on a minimal budget. We will launch it in 30 countries, and not only in any stores. We will be among the few lifestyle brands that will enter the market on a global level on high-end stores, such as NK in Stockholm, Storm in Copenhagen, and Colette in Paris. Today, we have orders 4 times as much as we can deliver in the first batch. So, how did we end up here? Today, we will try to tell you the story in 50 minutes, how we did it all. We will also try to share with you our learnings, what to do and what not to do. How many of you have ever disturbed someone else in the past week? Have you disturbed anyone the past week? Have you ever experienced that you were supposed to wake up, you put your alarm clock on your cell phone and you've woken somebody else up? Have you experienced that? Your roommate. The idea behind Mutewatch arose when me and my film photographer boyfriend constantly woke each other up at the wrong time during the night. The core of Mutewatch is to be able to follow your own agenda without disturbing others. It's about respect for other people's time. When there was a business idea at Stockholm School of Economics, this was a perfect opportunity to present the idea. And that's how it all started. A year after this, the idea was still in the back of my head, and I realized that if I didn't try to evolve it, I would regret it. The fear of not trying to make it a reality was greater than the fear of failing. So there I was. It was 2008, and I decided to make this a reality. I needed someone that could actually build the product, and I asked for introductions, and I got the introduction to Oscar, who was interested in making ideas into reality. I also took my little brother, now a law student, along. And there we was. We were a small team, very young, lacking of experience, but we had one interesting thing. We were interested in different areas, yet with the same goal, to take Mutewatch to the market. I wanted to sell and engage people. Oscar wanted to design and develop, and Gustav, he was interested in laws and economics and administration. Complement your own skills. Work with people that think differently as you. This will force you to do well thought out decisions.
So we started jotting down ideas for how this concept would look like. And it soon aroused us that it would change from being just a silent alarm clock in the morning to a silent alarm clock you can use all day long. And we found this rubber band concept with using these small dials found on like a combination padlock. And after discussing this concept with a design firm, we got the advice to try to find someone who could actually produce this, make a prototype of this. So we put up a poster on KTH for a programming contest. And the winner would receive 500 crowns, but also the possibility to make our concept into a real product. And the winner was without a doubt Johan. Johan had previously built a lot of different watches and alarm clocks. One of the most important and fun ones was one built right into his bed. And it doesn't stop ringing until you get out of bed. See, we really had this like innovative spirit, and he loved to build products. That was the most important thing. So Johan has been with us ever since. He has later on invested in the company, become a partner, and is now chief of engineering. And at the same time we met Johan, me and Mai-Li started taking this course called Sting Startup. It's basically a crash course in how to do business, and it's very high focus on turning innovation into a profitable business idea. And this helped us together focus on a common goal, to build and sell products and generate profit. Then early in 2009, we were still searching for a designer to design our watch. And we ended up with these three guys and the design firm called Norra Norr. And they would later be recognized for designing what would be a huge success of urban ears and sound industries. And even though we could not afford their quite big price tag at the moment, they believed in us as a team, and they picked us up as a client. And the thing we wanted to say here is that it's important to build, if you want to build a quality product, you also need to work with quality people.
We founded Mutewatch AB based on a share capital of 100,000 crowns. But it was soon quite obvious that we needed more funding to realize the goal of building a high-quality product. We started searching, as most people in our position would, alumni, different scholarships, Vinnova. I can't say that we were specifically lucky in searching for funding. We managed to get one meeting in May with alumni. They rejected our loan application too. And this answer came directly in the beginning of the summer, which was the first period where we decided to work full-time with a project. Not the perfect start, I would say. Since we've invested almost all our money in the design, there was few choices to be made. We needed money pretty fast, otherwise we had to liquidate the company. In the darkest hours, we got a call from Vinnova telling us that we were welcome for a meeting where we could introduce our product for a nomination that we applied for earlier in the spring.
So we prepared really, really well for this meeting, because it was like win or go home. And I remember leaving the meeting with quite a small positive feeling of hope in the back of my head, but after that, the weeks passed, we didn't hear anything from them. And I remember us sitting in the office one Tuesday afternoon, quite slow day, one of the few slow days we ever had, actually. And suddenly Mai-Li starts screaming and jumping. And it turns out she's just read an email from Vinnova stating that they have awarded us with 300,000 crowns for us to pursue with our project further on. And with this new increase in the budget, we could continue developing the prototype of Mutewatch into a real product. And at the same time, we got in contact with this guy called Jonas Norberg, also a founder of the company called Tonium, and the creator of a portable DJ product called the Pacemaker. And we presented our ideas to him and asked him for his advice. And we didn't only get really good advice, we also got an introduction to a company called Wireless System Integration, responsible for building the Pacemaker.
Use mentors and professionals that complement your lack of experience. We founded an advisory board before even having a legal company. The summer months went by quite quickly. We did everything we could, and we left no doors unopened. That's what a successful company does, have a lot of meetings, right? But this turned out to be very exhausting, and we were pretty tired when we came back to school. And it's okay to do mistakes, as long as you learn from it and do something better out of it. Now we know the importance of focusing. We focus on two things in Mutewatch: develop the product and selling it. January 2010, we started a very long period of funding. We did the financial prospects, we benchmarked our products against different markets, everything. It boiled down to one important thing: find the right people. Searching for an investor is just like searching for someone to marry. It's not only about the money. It's about a relationship and trust. And it's not easier if you have a clock ticking. Through my mentor, I was lucky enough to join a business society where we play poker together. This made a lot of important introductions for us as a young team. Being a young team is very good sometimes. You have the energy. You don't have any kids to take care of. But what you lack is a network that have introductions for you to people that have money many times. We met with many potential investors that spring. Few of them were convinced of the idea, but they believed in us as a team. We managed to raise 600,000 crowns to the valuation that we needed. We were pretty tired of searching funding back then, and we decided to lower the valuation and take a smaller sum from almost everyone that we met. Through this strategy, we managed to raise 1,600,000 crowns. Immediately after that, I was on my next Ryanair flight to Berlin. Started to sell with a prototype with a battery hanging outside. The goal was to get orders and have the bank matching the orders so that we could start producing the watch. Almost all the money that we raised had to go to the product development and wireless system integration and the quality. So, on a budget of 5,000 crowns, I managed to travel between 7 countries, and among others, I managed to get Colette on boards, one of the most powerful stores in the retail industry.
So during this whole process, up until now, we had never shared anything public about our product or how it looked like. We never emailed any pictures of it. We only showed it to people face to face during meetings. But then in August, we decided it's time to let the world know what we have been working on so far. So together with our web design firm at the time, called The Apartment, we released a new website with computer renderings of the product, along with a quite humble web shop where you could pay 19 euros as a down payment just to be one of the first to receive the product when it eventually launched. And this was without a launch date at all. So we shared a link with our friends on Facebook and Twitter and such on. But we also sent this personal letter to the editor-in-chief of Engadget, this really big tech blog, which I'm sure most of you know of. And a couple of hours later, they had posted an article of Mutewatch, about Mutewatch. And this started something we could never, ever hoped happening, because things went crazy from here. Gizmodo picked it up. In 24 hours, Gizmodo, Tech, and Trend had a lot of more tech blogs had written about us. And this, of course, generated a lot of traffic to our servers, which was not at all prepared for this. So we shared the server at that time. We had bought like the cheapest option available at the market at that time. So we were with 600 other pages who also went down together with ours for a couple, like 12 hours or so. But we had really lucky because we had the shop on a separate server, so at least we could keep on selling the product. So this response was more, as I said, than we could ever hope for. People from all over the world were suddenly contacting us, asking to become resellers of our product, a product that did not yet exist. But the most important thing of all, I think, is that all of a sudden we had actual customers paying just to be one of the first to receive the watch when it actually launched. But so everything's going really good by now. But we've also been in contact during the summer with the bank in order to get a loan to finance development and orders. But with the new issue in our back, we felt quite confident, but it would turn out that we would not receive a bank loan for another 6 months. And we thought this process would be really quick. And at the same time, our development partner hit us with really bad news that we would need raise more funding in order to finish the development of the product. Until then, development froze.
The 9th of December, we got the answer from the bank that we could get a loan. 13 days later, we had managed to match the bank loan with a second new issue of shares. On the morning on Christmas Eve, we could place the purchase order of the final tooling. During the spring, now, 2011, things are really starting to happen. In February, we made the official launch date official and started taking full payment of the product. 3 weeks ago, we actually managed to close the third new issue of shares. This time it was a bit different. We didn't really need the money to launch the product, but since we have such heavily demand, it would be stupid not to act on it. The process was quite different this time. It was quick, and we had to say no to a lot of investors. Actually, one investor wanted it all, being committed, and together with the current shareholders, we are a very good team to take care of the challenges that lay ahead of us. Search for money when you don't need it. This gives you a calm impression. Investors like this. So here we are today, 3 months from product launch. We still have 1,000 things to do, but we feel calm because no matter what's there for us, we see it as sources of knowledge and experience instead of something bad. We cannot yet say that we've succeeded, but we can say that it's never been more fun to work with Mutewatch than now. We're really glad that you've chosen to come here and listen to us speak. For more information, please find us on Facebook. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Questions from the audience? Come on, guys. Shoot. What does it do if it doesn't have a screen?
If you touch it, it appears. You can use your finger to change between different functions, and then it turns off.
It's about respecting other people's time. So it's discreet, but from the very beginning, we did it because we realized that we want the people that carry Rolex to carry our watch. So instead of making this padlock combination, we made it a disguised digital one. Now I think people will wear it just like that, but you can also light it up like this. Yeah.
Question, sir? Wait for the mic.
Why didn't you start selling from the start? Why did you wait to get a letter from Vinnova instead of just posting the renderings right away, or just describing your idea and trying to charge for it?
We didn't have anything good enough to show off at that point.
As
Of course we sold. Mai-Li can tell you more about that.
As a small company with a little budget and a great idea, you face the risk of getting someone else with a huge budget that realized your idea. We kept the product secret until we knew that we had the part of the funding in place and a developed concept, so we could be the first.
But how sure you were that the market will accept it?
You can never be sure, I think, but we really liked. We basically developed this product for ourselves in the beginning, and people we talk to all the time encouraged us. Some people doesn't like it at all. Some people love it. It's very hard with innovation because when you do something no one has ever done before, it's hard to know that this will be a hit or not.
True innovation doesn't have a market.
I
It's
like
also
that one.
it's also like if you have a problem in your everyday life and you solve it, you will at least have one customer yourself.
Yeah.
More questions? We got one here. Mike, please.
With all these crowdsourcing things that are going on now, it seems like that's essentially what you guys did. You basically, something like mimicking a Kickstarter, where you guys took deposits before you even had the product. Did you guys try using any of those crowdsourcing sites back then?
No.
I think perhaps we should have done, because when we started we didn't find any good ones, but perhaps they were developing parallel to us. But I think those are really good idea because it's a way to get people that really are interested in your products to contribute to making them happen for real.
We didn't know about that opportunity, but
No.
on the other hand, we picked 17 superstars. And so now we have 17 instead of 200 that can help us with advice in different industries.
Another question.
Yeah.
Did you find a lot of the angels that said no coming back and then trying to get in after you guys had, gotten good traction?
We actually got a meeting with almost everyone that we wanted, and we got very few that said blank no. Everyone kind of liked us as a team.
It was just valuation. Was that the
They didn't
discussion?
believe in the idea at all.
Okay.
They're great. We had pretty unconventional strategies sometimes to get them on board, promising them to help them in future companies, etc. And they're very, very happy that we convinced them. They say no.
Very cool.
Thank you.
We have one there. Wait, Mike.
We're the girls.
Everything needs to be recorded.
Oh no. Okay. Regarding all the investors you took, is it the decision taking? Is it a bit diluted because you have so many people involved and it's harder? And since you're a startup, you have to run.
We still have the majority in the management team.
Okay.
But how about information? Investors require information about
course.
progress, milestone plans,
We have
financial plans.
we have very nice investors. They are quite passive.
No, but we have both kinds. Really,
They
really
trust us.
aggressive, really passive. So
Since they didn't believe in the idea from the beginning, they realized that we know what we're doing.
yeah.
So you go for the cash, not the brains, right? When you pick investors.
No,
We pick
of
them
course
because
not.
we need the brain when we're up and running. Many of them has rules that they know don't invest in startups.
Yeah, we
many
don't have time for it.
many are successful in big corporations. We will need them, but when we're more mature.
Yeah.
Well, since you were not sure about the outcome of this product and how it would sell, while securing the investment, how did you cope up with the pressure if the product wouldn't work out?
We believed in the idea.
We believed in the idea. We were very clear on a few things. That's one of the reasons we didn't want the 600,000 we raised to the first valuation of the company. We needed more money to ensure this would be actual something you can test on the market. So we basically, that was the key selling point. We are going to test this for real now, and you can help us as a young team to make this happen. And we haven't been looking back since then.
So don't.
There's no looking back.
No.
That's very good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I handle risk through focusing on things. I never called myself an entrepreneur. I'm a management person who happened to have a good idea. And by saying that, I try to step away from the profile of an entrepreneur that has 10 different companies. Because I believe that quality and focus is a core thing to get success in the end.
You said that you had 1,000 things to do. How do you prioritize there?
Well, I partly have lectures in time management now, partly because this is a great speaking tool, but it's also the core of the brand. And it's strange to find out that this is actually one of the most challenging things, where you have 1,000 things to do in an email basket that is always full. It's very hard to prioritize. There is one concept called the jar and the stone concept, where you carefully place the biggest stones, meaning the most important stuff. Then you place the pebbles, and then you just pour the sand in it. So that means that always start with the most important things, develop the product, and sell it. And the other things, such as marketing and Twitter and all those, it will come when time's there.
Yeah, I think what we realized the most important lesson for us so far is, in this area is that there's not a unique need to just do Twitter to communicate something, for instance. As Mai-Li said, focus on developing the product and selling it. That's the two
It's kind of
major
cool.
things.
Twitter is kind of cool, though.
It's really cool,
Yeah.
of course.
But we're not.
It's sensitive, modern kind of thing. That your social media and all that stuff.
The core of our brand is to respect other people's time. We wouldn't communicate just something just to be there. We want to communicate and give value to the audience. And I think this is important. How you build a brand based on trust is to focus on your core idea and always deliver quality and value to the end customers. I don't believe in branding and putting a lot of money into marketing and just screaming. If you just focus building a great product that the end customer will need or a great service,
And
trust will
something
come.
people will pay for. That's the most important part, I think.
And speaking about time, my friends,
Oh yeah,
it's up.
I know.
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you
everyone,
very
for
much.
listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on.
That's cool. Bye.
Thank you.